Hello everyone and welcome to Skyrim. Today I'm going to show you a level I have been working on, the initial gray box of that level. So as you can see, this is the overall geometry of the level. You see I put a lot more than was required in the level. I added all the narrative and everything as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the editor because I want to show you in the actual game. But I'll just cover some of the enemy markers because it doesn't show them in the game itself. So as you can see, this area is going to incorporate bandits. I'll go into that in a little more detail when I actually start the game. There will be 3 enemies in this area, 1 near this little campsite and 2 over here, and they will both be bandits. Doesn't really matter to me what type of bandit. Yeah. And over here we'll have 2 bandits, one sort of guarding this entrance into the rest of the dungeon, and the other kind of studying over here. Once you go into the spider area, you're going to have 3 frostbite spiders ready to fight the player as they come into this area. And there'll be some other frostbite spiders in this area as well. And then the player will face a boss, a giant frostbite spider. It'll come out of this tube up here. And then right here we'll transition into skeletons and drogs. This will be like the first enemy to kind of show the player to something new. And then there'll be 4 others in here, a mix of drogs and skeletons. And then the only other enemy is over here. The boss, the main boss, which will be probably a drog, but like a harder level, so it makes things more difficult. So just before I go into the actual level on Skyrim, one thing I just want to talk about, the kind of theme of this overall level. I want it to kind of be like Indiana Jones in a way, as in like you have a dungeon or a temple or something, and there's traps that you kind of have to survive as you make your way through it. And of course there's some traps, I didn't really explain them over here. I'll show you as I go through. And I also wanted to incorporate common Skyrim dungeons, and that's kind of where the spider theme and skeleton theme comes in, because there's not really many of those in actual Indiana Jones movies or anything. But that's kind of what I was going for, and I'll explain it a little bit more as I go. So let me just transition over to the actual Skyrim. Alright, so it should be on here now. Alright, so let's just start from the beginning of my dungeon. So you can see I added some lighting, general lighting, torches, just for the start of the area. Right. So this is the bandit camp. This is the first place the player is going to enter. This is kind of where it gives off a little bit of narrative showing that bandits are trying to conquer this dungeon as well as you are. And this is where they set up camp. You know, it has the traditional campground stuff, fire, logs, some pots, and I also added some areas where you can kind of like sneak around, depending on your level of sneaking. It's better over here. You can kind of go around, get some stuff from the chest, and then kind of sneak around to the exit. Yeah. No, obviously there's going to be enemies here. It's just the initial markdown of it. So as you go up here, you'll see some urns. This one's empty. So this is where your first trap is. And I kind of added these guys just to give an indicator of, hey, there's danger here. These guys died from something. This is probably what they died from. Yep. So you can just jump over those. Some more urns here. And this is the bandit outpost. This is kind of where bandits come to eat, do research, practice on these dungeons. We got some chests. And This is kind of where they're doing research on some of the enemies in the dungeon, as well as here. And this is kind of where they have some extra over here. Alright. And then this whole right here is just add narrative, like, okay, they're trying to keep out whatever was past this point. So they added like barricades. Right. Hopping over that. This is the rest, kind of transition into some of the spider area. It does this with the lighting a little bit, but yeah. So you can tell that some of the bandits died trying to fight these spiders. Some spiders died fighting the bandits. And then we transition into the spider's den, a little spider den. You can see some more dead bandits, and this is kind of the point where bandits stop coming. There'll obviously be some more mini spiders to fight here as you go through. Yeah, and then there's treasure in some of these. Okay. So after this point, you can tell that nobody's gone through here, and that's because obviously no one's cut down these webs before. So the rest of this dungeon is untraveled. Some more treasure as you go through, and this is where you meet some more traps. It's a little bit of a surprise, but it gives you enough time to know that's there. There's that, and this is where the Indiana Jones scene kind of comes in. Some more areas, and right between these two spaces there's going to be more enemies, kind of spiders just waiting for you. And then we go down here. I actually think I missed something. Is this? Oh, right here. Where? Oh, right here. I missed this one. Yeah. There's a little treasure alcove here for some loot. Gotta keep an eye out for that stuff. Can be easy to miss. And then this is where you'll fight the main spider. I don't know what it's doing with that light like that, but obviously spider's gonna come down here when you enter, and you'll fight him. You got some sacks and stuff for loot to help you kind of survive. Alright. And make our way through here, and this is kind of where it transitions. The narrative, environmental narrative is changing a little bit. Like this, just different section of the dungeon, and this is where we'll find some skeletons. There'll be like an introduction to a new enemy type, a drog here, and then there's some more, kind of adding some narrative with coffins. And I wanted to get a bit catacomb feel, but I didn't want to use the catacomb pieces exactly. I wanted to kind of make it up myself. And in these sections is where some drogs or skeletons will pop out and attack you as you make your way through here. Got some more props and everything. And then we got some more traps. So this is a dart trap. Just kind of run through the whole thing. Alright. And then some more treasure areas. And then we're getting towards the end of the dungeon. So over here, it's just a little spot to kind of give you more treasure before you fight the final boss. But it also gives you an indicator into what you're going to be facing, what area you need to go to, what it's going to look like. And once I make my way over there, this is like the last trial to get to the boss. You got a little lever here you can pull to stop those traps. And then you'll enter this area, and this is where the final boss is. Got some loot around here just to help you. A drog will probably pop out of here. It's a, heavy, higher level. Give you a good fight. You got areas to move around and everything. And then once you're done with that, you can collect your loot. Treasure room. And then you can leave. Obviously, my thing's not connected to the actual Skyrim, so you can just fall right off the edge here. But that's the general idea of my level. So yeah, that's my level so far. Leave any comments if you have any suggestions on how to make it better. If not, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.